Obviously, police officers are not allowed to stop vehicles at random. They have to have a reason. It's what's referred to as reasonable suspicion. In most DUI cases, the first area we look to challenge is whether or not the officer had reasonable suspicion to stop your vehicle. The Utah appellate courts have determined that reasonable suspicion generally constitutes one of three things. First, some sort of moving violation. Two, an equipment violation. Or three, other reason to believe that the driver or the occupants of the vehicle are involved in some form of criminal activity. With regard to moving violations, some of the most common violations we see are things such as speeding, driving over the stop line, failing to come to a complete stop, or failing to signal. With regard to equipment violations, officers are specifically trained to look for minor violations such as no license plate light, tail lights out, lifted vehicle without mud flaps, big tires that extend beyond the wheel wells. Any of these things that constitutes either an equipment or a traffic violation can be used by an officer to justify a traffic stop. The third category would be other reason to believe the individuals in the car involved with criminal activity. This could be something as simple as individuals in a vehicle who are claimed to have been involved in a fight at a bar, the officer seeing a passenger lifting a beer can as an open container. Any of these things could serve as a basis for a traffic stop. However, you have the right to challenge whether or not the officer's stop was justified, and that challenge is usually done in the form of a motion to suppress. There have been many cases where I've found, either through videotape evidence or other evidence, that the traffic violation the officer claimed to observe simply was not the case. There's a lot of pressure on police officers to make DUI arrests, and typically if you're out after hours, late at night, officers are trained that if they work on volume, in essence, the more cars they stop, the more drunk drivers they're going to find. You're going to experience an officer who is stretching to try to make a traffic stop, or is making traffic stops based on very minor traffic offenses that normally wouldn't be ticketed during normal business hours, but after dark, officers are looking to stop as many vehicles as possible. If you believe that the officer did not have a legal justification to stop your vehicle, then certainly you can discuss with us whether or not the facts of your case give rise to a motion to suppress for lack of reasonable suspicion to stop your vehicle.